Let's start. Call the meeting to order. It's August 25th, 2015. 10 o'clock. Roll call. Smiley here. Hamill here. McMurphy here. Number 3, approval of the minutes of the last meeting, August 17th, 2015.
I'll make that motion if everybody's looked over them.
I'll have a chance. I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye. 3 carried. There's a sign.
Thank you.
Number 4, approval of payroll warrants and claims that will be paid on August 31st, 2015.
I will make the motion to approve the payroll warrants and claims.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Number 4 carried. Discussion and possible action regarding the following road crossings, OG&E. Is that for me?
Well, you guys have got one kind of on a line there. I'll go ahead and move that we approve the one for District 1 with OG&E.
Okay. I'll make the motion we approve for District 2. And it's on our boundary line, so.
Second, do it. I need a second on that.
Oh, okay. I'll second David's.
Okay, and I'll second Randy's.
Okay.
Okay.
We didn't all, does everyone vote aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
All in favor? Aye, twice.
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah.
Okay.
Felt it. Didn't even have to see it. Do I need to do one for this, or being it?
No, it's border, I
Kinda
guess.
borderline,
What I did
I mean.
was for both of them, so. There's no fee.
Yeah, I mean,
Public utility, not a whole lot we can do. It's just,
unless with the free, right?
yeah.
That's it.
Hello there.
We'll make you
Good morning.
room here.
Where do you want me to sit?
Right there.
Right there.
Yep.
Perfect.
Front row and
Head
center.
of the table.
And I'll just move some of this stuff out of the way, so you're not so crowded.
How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good.
I'm David Hamill.
David, Buddy Carroll.
John Smiley.
I don't.
Nice to meet you, buddy. Where are you from?
Enid.
All right.
Okay.
Highland.
Oh, all right.
We share a hunting story.
All right.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I always bring that just in case somebody says, oh no, we don't want to put it there.
Okay.
Pull out the printer, get it all settled out. You might want the official copy, not the work copies. Hey, am I on?
You're up.
Okay. Went through all the finance requirements and everything that needed to be filled within the county budget and everything. So in going through, we had adequate funding available to meet all of the officers' requests. And then, of course, we were able to put a little bit of reserve back into our sales, or into our contingency fund. And so I guess what I'm saying, or going to ask, is were there any concerns about any of the officers' requests?
The best I remember, the only increase we were talking about is in law enforcement and
Right.
sheriff's office.
Yeah.
To speak up, that amounted to anything outside of just,
He had some M&O and salary increases in his. And then, of course, the E911 was up
Yeah.
considerably.
well, it's not up per se, it's just that We did it all at the beginning of the year.
You shifted it over
Yeah.
to identify it rather than.
Right,
Yeah.
right. It's just.
Supplement it as you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. But I mean, in the original appropriation, it is much higher than it has been just because of the need.
Yes.
Okay. Let's see. I think in the other offices, there were increases, but they weren't significant, and so
Right,
they were
just
pretty
kinda
steady.
normal,
You know,
yeah.
the cost of living.
Yeah.
Yeah.
M&Os
travel. And
Yeah.
we had kind of, because our travel expenses have went
Yeah.
up so much because of our schools.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so part of it.
Oh yeah, you
A
got
lot of new employees
be educated.
with the new elected officials.
The general fund appropriation this year was, came up to 11,967, and that was from 9 million last year. So we did have an increase, and I've got the health department's estimate of needs too. I'm just gonna take it over to them. There wasn't a whole lot of change with them. They did have
Right.
some ad valorem increases, and that's typically where your increases come from too, is the increase in the valuations. And
Right.
we have to put that in there because it's required by statute, so. I'm really not too sure how much in depth you wanna go with this, but you've already been over all your requests.
Right. Let me clarify something for these two new ones. I think is the on what you just said there on the ad valorem increases. That's a mandatory 3%. Am I right on that?
On,
That our taxes go up every year.
from your values.
Yes.
Well, 5%.
It's 5.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they lowered it to 3.
They have a maximum of 5, but it's typically an
Okay.
average of 3.
Oh, okay, maybe, okay. I thought they'd actually lowered that.
Well, you know, I'm always the third person to find out, so.
Well,
You may be exactly right.
I could be wrong. I just thought
But
they,
this is an annual increase every year.
Yes.
Yes.
It goes up because they alternate from region within the county, and then they evaluate, and typically it's a rise, and then they go to the next region the next year, and
Okay.
so it's an ongoing circle.
let me ask you this, and this is an unknown for me. Say the land values start down with this plummet in the economy. Will they go down up there?
Well, the land values aren't the ones that are gonna go down. It's gonna be our public service
Okay,
that's gonna go down. Personal property, those are the tanks that are holding the goods and lines and everything like that. Now that, if that reduction goes into play, then that could be a down.
they won't
a
lower,
downside.
they don't lower land values?
Typically, that's not, it's gonna go up.
Okay.
Because most of them
Yeah.
are lower than, they're not at.
Yeah, they're
where they
at
should be
appraised
anyway.
value,
Right,
which
right,
is,
where they should
which
be.
is normally way
You
lower
get-
than what
they're not
they
dealing with
bring, so,
market.
Yeah.
Right. And our, public service was up, like 37 million in
Yeah.
Yeah, 37
And there's
million
a-
last year, yes.
And there's a couple of companies out there that are protesting, and so even though it's protested, that tax will be paid, and it'll be put into an escrow account maintained in the county treasury. And so they pay it, and then once the protest and court decisions are resolved, then it's released, whatever the award is. Yeah.
Months or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Buddy, question. So are there protests affecting the public service money in Woods County?
The public service would be on, and right now, my understanding is Shamrock and Valero. Now, there's another one, CRL or DCP. I can't remember the acronym that it
Could
gives
be
out.
DCP.
Yeah, but I mean, it's major. But
And it's
it's
all
all
the
personal
same.
property. And because it's the fuel holding, and it's everywhere.
Because I'd understood Cindy to say when she came down representing, that, hey, we're thrilled, there's no big
Well,
protest.
I thought those were all, is this a new deal for the next
They might
year?
Well, and you're,
Very good.
The public service may protest with the state. not actually with the county.
But she got a
Well-
letter from the state saying public
Everything's
service
okay.
up 37 million.
Mhm.
Right.
Everything is kosher. And so you guys, I thought, breathed a sigh of relief that, hey, it's up.
Well, that's what I thought. I thought all
Right,
those
and you may
hearings
not
were-
have that company within your
Oh, okay.
area.
Okay.
Okay.
It's like Ellis County has 35 million protested.
Okay.
Beaver County, the same, and down at
Valero.
Carter County, it's
Kinda
like
like a Jimmy
150
Trip.
million. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All
Okay.
down there.
Okay, so it may not have.
It may not affect you all. You may not have those lines and tanks.
DCP though,
We don't
we're,
have any.
Yeah.
we got that.
Well, if that's one of them, but yeah.
And it, you know, and the process they've gone through, I'm not sure that they've
The state.
done the correct protocol on all the protesting too. So
Yeah.
it may get thrown out, and who knows?
Could go either way.
Yeah, and they're protesting a large percentage rather than 10%. I mean, we're talking 50, 60% of their taxes, and that's
Yeah.
very unusual and usually not accepted.
Yeah.
But it's just up in limbo right now. Now, and of course, we have to leave that on the tax rolls as is, and if it is protested, like I said, the tax is paid, it's held in escrow. It just builds up over time, and once it's released, it goes out to the tax entities. But in the meantime, it's held up. And say Valero and Shamrock, they were okayed at the state level, so they're back out. One thing that I did discuss with Renetta is that if it is released and it changes the values of her abstract, her certified values, don't change them. Just do it on a tax roll correction. All the units are going to get their money, but we won't have to change the budget and go back through all the hoops of the county and the schools and health and everything like that. So they'll still get their money, but it's not going to, we won't change this value.
Right.
Okay,
All the cash funds were in balance. The treasurer's office was right on top of it. The clerk's office, all of the account summaries, the appropriations were in balance with the cash, so everything gelled out real good.
okay. So we're ready to proceed to take this to the auditor. Is that what we need to decide now? Is that what this action is about?
What you do now is to approve the estimate of needs for 15-16, and
Right.
the financial statements 14-15, and then you'll publish it one time prior to the excise board meeting on it. The excise board will meet on it, and then you can deliver it to the state board of equalization,
Okay,
and they will act on it, and then 20 days after that, you can send out your tax statements.
okay. So I guess your suggestion, do we need to table this so we can look over it, or we need to take care of it? If it's not like we thought, we just come back and holler at you and say, hey.
You can do that if you want.
or-
I sent it to Shelley.
Yeah,
He reviewed it,
okay.
and
Yeah, I know, but I mean, I'm just, if
in
we're
your,
good, well, we're paying you, I guess that's what I'm trying to get at. Are you good with us approving it?
I'm good with you approving
Okay.
it. You,
And I checked all
did
the
you
numbers.
all have a meeting and go over your requests and everything? And you were okay with those?
Yes, we
Those-
did that.
Those are the same
If
things
nothing
that are in
much has
here.
changed,
Yeah.
I'm just trying to do it right, I guess.
Well, you are doing it right.
So, okay. All right. I'll make the motion that we approve your estimate of needs for 15-16, and we move forward.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then 11,967,000.
11,967,41774. Okay, shall we?
Ka-ching.
74. Okay, we'll have 2 pages on each of these documents that'll need signature. And we're not a budget board, so
Right.
anything below
Sign on
commissioners
the
doesn't
top.
have to be signed,
Okay.
yes.
As chairman,
Yes, sir.
or
Yeah,
right here.
yes, sir.
I can usually do it in the wrong place right off the bat, so.
And we'll just mark out that slot and change your position. Right here as well. These are just documents that you've reviewed and that you attest that the county's in balance, and these
Any more?
requests are within the appropriation. Sign right here. Take out another page.
When did you have the figure for last year? You said it was 9 million, but surely it's not even.
No, it wasn't even. Let's see here.
And then 2 pages back.
8,965,003.37. Here's the, this is our publication sheet.
Okay.
And Shelley, there, you'll sign both of those signed pages,
Okay,
and now you'll have a different date for the excise board when it's submitted to them,
right.
and then you'll have a publication statement once it comes back from the paper and you get your affidavits.
Okay.
But I mark out here, I mark that out because it doesn't apply, we don't have
So I
industrial
don't go ahead
authority.
and date it today.
What does that say right there?
This one says submitted to the excise board this day, so I wait
Don't,
until
don't
then.
date that one, you just date what you signed
Okay.
as an attest. Now, the health department
Mhm.
is published on this as well.
Okay.
So they won't have a publication that comes in and that's attached to their booklet.
I knew it was included in that first one.
Yeah. And there's a copy for each one of you guys. And if those all, if you have questions, just call.
2 of them?
Or one for him, yeah.
And this is basically,
This is the same thing, just no signatures on it.
okay.
We just did a little figuring this morning. Our sales taxes, first 2 months of the new year are down 53%.
The first two, all right?
Well, in comparison to the average of last year.
What you normally took in, yeah.
And at that rate, continued, it'll be down to 08's level.
Well, and what every county I'm getting into that, you know, is fortunate enough to have a sales tax, they're just gonna have to realize
Manage it.
it's going down.
Yeah,
And you may be a point when you have to lean on that sales tax reserve.
right. That's what we're figuring. I mean, at the rate we are, we aren't gonna bring in enough sales tax to stay at the current level for the next fiscal year.
Right.
So the reserve will come in, will start playing a part in 15, 16, unless something changes.
Do you need?
And it looks like it's changing all right for the worse.
Every day.
Do you need a copy?
No.
Of what was signed during?
No.
Okay.
Those are the
Okay.
ones
Those are
yours,
originals.
you take
One
them
for me
both,
and one
yeah,
for
each
Mama.
state. Yeah.
Okay. And then I take this to the paper.
You don't have to go very far, do you?
Couple of feet.
No. Okay, any other suggestions for us? Words of wisdom?
Keep a tight rein on it. I would sure do that, because I mean, just like you see, it's sales tax going down because of the reduction in activity, and
Right. I mean,
it's happening everywhere.
Well, we're fortunate to have the run we had.
Yes. Yeah, got, you know, like Grant County, you know, they were just barren for so long, and then all of a sudden it flooded in, now it's backing off again, and so they're having to
yeah, I can't,
rethink everything.
ours can't be nobody else's can be a whole lot different than ours, I don't think.
Yeah.
I mean, in a percentage basis.
And there are some that just aren't fortunate enough to even have a sales tax.
Exactly.
You've got,
Yeah, or oil or gas or.
yeah, I've got Major County, which you just hadn't moved that way yet, and they're still just, it's tough. It's really tough. I was working on Pawnee County today, and they've got a sales tax, but there's no production.
Exactly.
Just local activity,
Exactly.
yeah. So,
Okay.
anyway, any other questions of me?
Mr. Carl, thank you.
All right.
Thank
Yeah.
you all, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
If you have any
Looking
questions-
forward to working with you.
Yeah, review that and holler at me if you have
Okay,
questions.
very good.
Okay, good.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Okay, number 7, discuss some possible action regarding action on property for the town of Freedom. Okay, what this is, guys, is here a few years ago, and it's just my lapse of taking care of it at the time. The town of Freedom got a REAP grant to build a building, storage building for their equipment, just typical needs for a small town. And I let them build on the county D2's property out there at no charge. But what this statement says is that I'll just read it. In further agreement with the town of Freedom and its employees may only use the warehouse and the area surrounding the said warehouse extending a distance of 20 feet from the warehouse. The town of Freedom and Woods County District 2 agree that the warehouse is totally paid for and owned by the town of Freedom until such time the town of Freedom ceases to occupy, use, maintain, or pay expenses for the warehouse building, and or the town of Freedom ceases to exist, at which time the ownership of the warehouse building will revert to Woods County District 2. And so, that all this is a document to have on file that if that ever happens, that building becomes the county's property. So,
Do we need a motion? or-
yeah, I'll make a motion to approve this document.
You know when that building went up?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I think it's been about 3 years ago. 2 or 3. I mean, it's been over 2. I'll put it that way. We had that agreement at the time, Lynn, that's what I told them we could do, but I never did get it in writing to get it filed and Okay, number 9, discussion and possible action regarding the mapping position. You guys got anything or want to take no action?
No action?
Well, I think we need some further research or
Information.
whatever. I mean, you know,
Do we have to
I'm a
address
little
it?
bit concerned. No, if we take no action, we can bring it back up whenever we want.
That's what we need to do.
Here's the only thing I'm going to put input into this. When I went to Caddo County, the 911 lady that did the scheduling and all of that her and the emergency management guy did the map.
Did she work a shift?
She was the
I don't
kind
think,
of director.
yeah.
Did our gal director work a shift?
Right now she is in the transition, yes. But that's another part that we're trying to straighten out and with the consultant that's coming. You see what I'm saying? I mean, we have several things here to try to make this thing as efficient as we can. It's never going to be a paying proposition because it's just a service that we have to. But we need to be as fair to our constituents through all this thing as we can. And the people.
I think they come first.
Right.
By all means.
I mean, but in that respect, when we're fair to ours, then we're fair to the others too. So, the people we're servicing. But right now, my opinion is I don't want to feel like a fool trying to negotiate new deals that I don't know how to negotiate.
I was to hear need to hear from your consultant first before you do much.
Well, she's not going to do anything, I don't think, much on this map. She's consulting the
evaluating
dispatch.
this. But it's all kind of tied together.
Yeah, it's all tied together. I mean, there's just things we need to.
When's the consultant will be here?
She was here last, I don't know if it was last Wednesday, I believe, and spent her first day. She had a bunch of things in writing, and she had already prepared before she got here. And she spent, I got here just before she left, about 4:30, and she'd been here since 10 that morning. And, well, it was the same day we were at the Botec.
Kind of an information gathering trip.
Well, yeah, she just, she's got some classes scheduled that the girls need to go to. It could be a really good deal and a valuable asset for our 911 system. She wants to come up here. She liked it. She wants to bring this up to national standards of dispatching. That's got a word, and I don't know what it is, but national standards. And then she would like to put some classes on here to bring some dispatchers from surrounding areas to. They need CEUs and what have you, and she would like to have it do it here, and that'd be a little promo or PR for us to know that we're headed in that direction and working towards that. Because like I said, I think everybody in the state or nation, from what I read from my stuff, is faced with the same issues we are having with this 911. Even the big deals I'm reading some stuff about in Maryland or up there, some places on the East Coast are having funding issues, and it's not just Oklahoma with the 911 service. Like I said, it's a service that gets no return. You know, it's just a provided convenience for people.
Well, it's a necessity, really.
Yeah.
Right, it is.
Gotta
To
have
do
it.
people justice, you got to have it,
But you
and
still got to pay for it.
all they. Yeah, I mean,
But you don't have to pay for somebody else.
No.
So basically, is it, what the bottom line is, I'm hearing today, and I'm gonna write this, but that Alfalfa County may be being overcharged from the mapping and Rankin County being undercharged.
Well, we don't know though for a fact.
Yeah,
I
we
do.
don't really know.
well,
I
don't even have to
it's
see
a
the facts.
given
I
that
can-
Grant County's
Sure.
being
Alfalfa County,
undercharged.
we don't
Yeah.
know. We don't
Yeah.
know for
As
sure.
far as what Alfalfa County is getting,
Yeah, I don't-
the
yeah.
facts are, I mean, that remains to be seen.
Until
I mean,
Until we have
how much it's costing.
Yeah.
information, we got to,
We have no way to figure an equitable
yeah.
solution until we get.
and just so you know, and I'm gonna hold my hand over this mic again.
That don't work.
It doesn't.
Coming off.
Whatever. But just so you know the whole story and what I was referring to, he went to Harper County and gave them one of these guesstimates. Well, I put a halt to it.
Yeah.
Because you were afraid it was too low, or?
I don't know.
We had no way.
And that's my problem, is how you give a bid.
I'm gonna make a motion, we take no action.
There you go. I mean, we just need to get down the road further.
And we'll address that. when
All in
we get-
favor?
When
Aye.
we, yeah, get more information. Aye.
Okay, number 10, approve, disapprove blanket purchase order.
I'll move we approve the blanket purchase order.
Yeah. I'll second that. All right, all in
Okay.
favor?
Yeah, yeah.
Motion to adjourn, recess or reconvene.
I get to do this one. I'll make the motion, we recess, adjourn, or reconvene.
You haven't educated him yet?
Gotta throw a little change up. Yeah.
It's not optional, you're gonna have to do one or the other.
He said we're adjourning.
All right,
Yeah.
all in favor, aye.
Aye.
But we've educated